this is Sai Kumar Kurtiwada. In this video, we will learn how to test Viewchild when one component is injected into other component where there is a parent-child relationship. So here in my previous video, we have explained how to test the Viewchild with a native HTML elements, whereas in this video, we completely focus on how to test Angular components. As we know, Angular components are something like a customized components, same like HTML, so that we can access the properties and the methods of that particular view child. So let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. Here I have created one app child and it is having a child ref. This child ref is injected into my component by using a view child. And also there are two buttons. When the user clicks on the first button, that is change child component value, then this will change the value of a app child by using the view child, that is nothing but the title updated from parent component. And when the user clicks on the next button, that is access child methods, then I am able to access the child methods. So this is the test case which we need to do in this particular video. So let me go into the spec file, and here let me create two variables. Let fixture colon, which is of type component fixture, and then it will take app component as a parameter, and let me use component instance colon, which is of type app component, and let me remove this and save this. And now after compilation, we have to use fixture is equal to, let me create a component that is nothing but a app component, and also let me create component instance is equal to fixture dot component instance. And also there is a dependency for this, that is nothing but a child component. Let me inject that child component and save this. Now we are ready with the component instance and a fixture. Let me create the first description. So the first description is changing the title property by using the view child of a child component. Change title property from parent using view child. So this is our first scenario, and let me have a callback function here. Inside the callback function, fixture dot detect changes, so this will bind our component.ts and html, and let me use fixture dot whenever it is stable, then I have to get a promise based callback, and inside this callback let me get the button. So what is the button which we have here? The first button is something like id is equal to property change btn. So on clicking on this button, the property of the child variable can be accessed and can be changed from our parent using Viewchild. Let me copy this and go to your spec file. Let me create const this element which is of type button, html button element, and this will be equal to fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector. So I'm creating a selector for this, and this query selector is targeted for an id. So let me use hash and paste this property change button, which is an id for that button. So after accessing this property change button, let me click on this property change button dot click. So once this click is triggered, then it will call this change child title, and it will point to this child reference, and then it will update your title property of a child. So how to know whether this title is updated or not? Let me go into child.ts or html and then create one id for this title child. To identify child, I'm suffixing with child. So let me copy this and go to the spec file and get that value. Before getting the value, this is updating some HTML content via TypeScript of a child. So that is the reason I need to update my fixture again. So fixture dot detect changes, and whenever the fixture is stable, then I'll get one more callback function, and inside this callback function, let me access that title property, that is nothing but a title element which is of type HTML paragraph element, and this can be accessed by using fixture.debug element.native element.query selector of an id type, and pass that id. What is my id here? The child.html title child. Let me go to the spec file, paste here and give semicolon. Now expectation is expect of title child should be having an inner HTML which should be equal to the value which we are passing from our parent. The value which we are passing is the title from TypeScript that is updated from parent component, and also we have something which is prefixed in the child component.html that is equal to your title hyphen. Let me go to the spec file and prepend it with title hyphen and go to the HTML, save this, go to the spec file, save this, and go to child.html, save this. Now you have been successfully passed. The two test cases has been successfully passed. And now let me go with one more it case where we are clicking on the second button, change title value in child component by accessing the method of child component. So we are accessing the method of a child component and we are trying to change the title. So let me use a callback function. Let me update fixture dot detect changes. Whenever the changes is done, fixture dot whenever it is stable, then you will be getting a promise based, and inside this you will be getting a callback function. Inside this callback function, let me access the second button in the parent. So let me add id is equal to method underscore change underscore btn, and let me save this. Access this method underscore change inside this fixture whenever it is stable const, and it is of type html button element and can be accessed by using fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector of a hash and pass this id to this. Now I am able to access this button. Let me use method change button dot click, and whenever this is clicked, it will call a method in your app component that is access child method. This should be called whenever this is called, the child reference will automatically call the change title which is already defined in your child component, and now the title will be changed with the title which we are passing. The title will be equivalent to the value which is I am able to access the child method, and that will update your child.html. So let me go to the spec file, and now after clicking this, let me update the fixture because the ts values are changing and the binding is changing. So you have to detect the changes so that our changed values will be updating on the UI. So detect changes and fixture dot whenever it is stable, then you will be getting a callback function, and inside this callback function let me access the title child by using the same way title child, and here this title change expectation would be something like title child dot inner html should be equal of the equivalent value is, go to the child.html and get the prefix value, copy this prefix value and paste here, and also when the method or a button is triggered, then I am able to access. This is a text which we are passing as a method parameter, and this parameter will append to your HTML content which already exists, that is nothing but a title, and give a save. So if you see here, all the three test cases has been passed. You may be wondering why we are getting three test cases. Actually speaking, the first test case is this one, and the second test case is this one, and the third test case is something like child.spec file. If you go to the child.spec file, there is something called as should create, whether the child component is created or not, which is by default given by Angular CLI whenever you are creating a component. So this is how you can check or you can test your child component accessing in your parent component by using Viewchild. And here we have tested completely about Angular components testing, not the native elements. So let me revise this. So whenever the user clicks on this button, it should call our component ts and it should update our title. So that is our first case, and the second case is whenever I click on this access child method, that will call one of the method inside your child, that is change title, and whenever it is called, this change title will trigger an update for your interpolation value in your HTML of a child component, and that's how it gets updated. And also I want to let you know about TechZet. TechZet is a platform on Medium where you can learn all the backend stuff. Mainly it is focused on the Adobe Experience Management, Magento, as well as OSGI, along with the basics of Java. And you can see the Link framework completely. So just have a click on the link below in the description and have a look on this Medium blog. If you like, please like, share, follow Media Blog. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.